Feeling unsure if your partner truly values you can trigger a whirlwind of emotions. Maybe you've done everything in your power to show commitment, that you still sense a disconnect. Does she worry about losing you, or does she think she can take you for granted? You might wonder if it's possible and fair to aim for a relationship dynamic where she feels a healthy fear of losing you. The key lies in cultivating mutual respect. Respect shapes attraction, fosters security, and encourages both partners to invest in growth. Respect also helps you navigate adversity because you can work through problems with a sense of teamwork and dignity. If you want her to fear losing you in a positive way, you must build a foundation of emotional strength, self-care, balanced generosity, and clear standards. This path can lead to a relationship that energizes both of you and keeps the spark alive. You can't force someone to respect you, but you can command respect by consistently living according to values and healthy boundaries. Understanding how respect, confidence, and self-awareness are intertwined helps you improve every part of your romantic life. Rather than viewing this as a manipulative tactic, see it as a way to be your best self and inspire your partner to match your efforts. As a man, when you cultivate inner confidence, your partner senses your value. In turn, she fears losing that value, just as you would fear losing a partner who brings out the best in you. When a woman feels that you have strong emotional resilience, she respects you on a deeper level. Emotional regulation means you don't let your temper control you, nor do you suppress feelings until they explode. Instead, you cultivate awareness of your own emotions, triggers, and patterns. You face them with honesty so they don't sabotage your relationship. This emotional control doesn't mean hiding your emotions or acting stoic. Instead, you calmly acknowledge your emotional world and choose deliberate ways to respond. Emotional regulation can be approached using the principles of cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. You learn to identify unhelpful thought patterns that lead to negative emotional responses, then challenge those thoughts and replace them with more balanced ones. You choose actions that benefit both you and your partner. This process involves ongoing introspection because everyone grapples with stress, anger, or self-doubt from time to time. A woman who witnesses you owning your triggers grows to admire your accountability. She realizes that your balanced demeanor doesn't mean you're unemotional. It means you're in control. When she sees you as emotionally steady, she values your presence and invests more in the relationship. You send a signal of confidence when you skillfully manage your emotions. For instance, imagine you have a disagreement with your partner. Instead of lashing out or sulking, you address the core issue directly. You listen to her viewpoint. Then you calmly clarify your perspective. You set clear boundaries if the conversation veers into disrespectful territory. By doing so, you model emotional stability. That stability communicates, I respect myself enough to regulate my reactions, and I respect you enough to listen and respond calmly. Famed relationship expert John Gottman once said, "The difference between happy and unhappy couples is how they manage conflict." This statement illustrates that conflict doesn't have to be catastrophic. It can be an opportunity for deeper understanding. Being able to master your emotional world sets the tone for healthier communication. Ultimately, your partner sees that you won't be easily shaken by conflict, which inspires her to invest more energy in maintaining the relationship. When you demonstrate leadership over your own feelings, you show that you are not just reacting to life, you're steering it. She recognizes this stability as a form of strength that's worth protecting. If you want your partner to fear losing you, you must meet her emotional and practical needs. However, you don't want to compromise your values in the process. Becoming overly accommodating can lead to resentment and reduce the respect she has for you. A relationship requires reciprocity. Both of you contribute and both of you benefit. When you know how to be supportive without draining yourself, she appreciates your efforts more deeply because she recognizes them as genuine. She also knows that your help comes from a position of strength, not from a place of seeking external validation. Meeting your partner's needs is about attentiveness. You pay attention to what she says, what she doesn't say, and what her emotional expressions indicate. You anticipate reasonable wants. That you also communicate your own needs and ensure that they matter. This dynamic fosters respect. She sees that you care, and in turn, she cares about not losing that support and presence in her life. Relationships thrive when both partners show kindness, compassion, and generosity. However, constant giving at the expense of your own needs leads to burnout. It also projects an image of low self-worth. When you never prioritize yourself, it may suggest that you don't hold your own time, well-being, and resources in high regard. This perception can lower her respect for you. Instead, maintain a balance. Show her how supportive and caring you can be, but do it from a place of inner solidity. Generosity loses its power when it's fueled by the fear of rejection. True generosity emerges from a surplus of self-respect and love. "We accept the love we think we deserve," wrote Stephen Chbosky in his novel The Perks of Being a Wallflower. This idea rings true in everyday relationships. If you believe you deserve to be valued, you will give and receive in a healthier way. You also expect your partner to meet you halfway. When that reciprocity occurs, a strong sense of mutual care arises. She doesn't just see your generosity, she sees the confidence that fuels it. This balance strengthens her desire to keep you in her life because she realizes you bring genuine value, not just compliance. Self-care involves more than bubble baths or pampering. It's a broader concept that includes physical health, emotional well-being, personal growth, and overall life satisfaction. When you take care of yourself, you communicate that you won't rely on your partner to fill every emotional gap. You reduce the likelihood of codependent patterns, which can undermine respect and attraction. Instead, you bring a healthier, more vibrant energy into the relationship. She sees that you have your own passions, your own experiences, and your own sense of purpose. That sense of purpose can be deeply attractive and can make her realize what she stands to lose if she doesn't invest in the relationship. Your well-being also impacts how you show up for her. When you're physically and mentally healthy, you have more to give. Stress, depression, or chronic fatigue can distort your emotional responses. By prioritizing your own wellness, you ensure that you have a solid foundation for supporting your partner. She learns that you're not just a caretaker for her needs, but also a caretaker for your own. This balanced approach helps her feel safe while also keeping her on her toes, because you won't sacrifice your mental or physical health at the expense of the relationship. You maintain your boundaries and self-respect, which she must also honor. A healthy dose of independence propels your relationship forward. You can have a shared life and still maintain individuality. When you stay engaged in your hobbies, nurture friendships, and continue to explore new interests, your partner sees you as a multifaceted individual who doesn't rely exclusively on her for validation. This sense of independence is attractive and encourages her to keep investing in the relationship. She fears losing you because you're a man who can thrive on his own. It's reassuring to know that a partner has a life outside the relationship, as it gives both people room to grow independently and then come together as stronger individuals. It's easy to lose yourself in a long-term relationship. You might stop going to the gym, skip game nights with friends, or abandon that guitar you used to love playing. Reconnecting with those passions revitalizes your personal identity and reminds her that you are a distinct person with unique facets. This realization often rekindles that sense of healthy fear. She does not want to lose the version of you that is most alive. She cherishes you more when she sees how self-care and independence turn you into a better partner. Boundaries are not walls. They are healthy guidelines that define how people treat each other in a relationship. When you set and uphold boundaries, you demonstrate self-respect and conviction. She realizes you won't tolerate being dismissed, insulted, or treated in a way that undermines your dignity. Clear standards also involve the way you expect to communicate. For example, if you believe that discussing problems openly is non-negotiable, you hold yourself and your partner to that standard. You don't let problems fester silently. Your standards might also include lifestyle preferences, like how you spend weekends or handle finances. If those standards conflict significantly with your partner's, both of you must decide if you can find a compromise or if it's a deal breaker. When you honor your values, you convey authenticity. You show that your boundaries serve a purpose, to protect your well-being and the health of the relationship. A woman who witnesses this kind of integrity naturally fears losing it. She recognizes that you are not so desperate for love that you'll abandon what matters to you. Setting boundaries effectively involves consistent follow-through. If you say you need time apart after a heated argument, you actually take that time. If you explain that you're uncomfortable with a certain behavior, you address it calmly yet firmly the next time it happens. This consistency reinforces her respect for you. She understands that your boundaries represent your principles, not empty threats. As a result, she invests more energy in preserving the harmony between you. She doesn't want to lose someone who values himself while still valuing her. In many relationships, imbalance occurs when one person shoulders most of the emotional and logistical labor. That person might plan all the dates, start all the difficult conversations, and make constant sacrifices to please the other. Initially, this might feel like a way to win someone over, but it can quickly erode self-esteem and diminish respect. Balancing effort means each partner participates in the emotional and practical aspects of the relationship. You both initiate plans, support each other through stress, and handle life's challenges as a team. This balanced dynamic creates a sense of shared responsibility. When you share tasks, neither person feels taken for granted. If you often find yourself doing most of the emotional labor, apologizing first, checking in more often, arranging every detail, take a step back and assess. Are you doing it because you fear conflict or loss? If so, it might be time to adjust your approach. Tell your partner that you value mutual investment. Encourage her to step up. This doesn't mean you love her less. It means you love yourself enough to require balance. A relationship thrives when both partners care. That care acts as an anchor. She fears losing you because she sees your consistent investment and recognizes that you expect the same from her. Relationships flourish when both partners push each other to grow, not in a harsh or competitive way, but through supportive encouragement. Growth might look like learning new skills together, tackling each other's personal goals, or helping each other work through emotional hurdles. When you actively engage in self-improvement, you inspire your partner to do the same. She doesn't want to be left behind. This type of growth also benefits both individuals. You become more confident, adaptable, and empathetic, and she evolves alongside you. Mutual growth ties back to respect. When you see each other working hard, you appreciate the dedication and admire the transformation. You're more likely to cheer each other on and respect each other's efforts. When she sees you achieving new milestones or overcoming personal challenges, her admiration grows. She values your ambition and grit, so she fears losing the opportunity to be part of your life journey. This fear isn't about anxiety. It's about cherishing something good that you've built together and not wanting to lose it. Building a relationship where your partner legitimately fears losing you doesn't rely on manipulation or empty tactics. It rests on genuine self-improvement, emotional regulation, balanced giving, and setting clear boundaries. You create an environment in which your worth shines. She can't help but respect and value you because you respect and value yourself. You show leadership over your life, and that leadership radiates in every interaction you have. When you invest in self-care, physically, mentally, and emotionally, you equip yourself to be a strong and loving partner. When you balance generosity with a sense of self-worth, you share genuine kindness rather than desperation. When you set standards, you uphold personal integrity. And when you maintain a balanced dynamic of emotional labor, you demonstrate fairness and encourage mutual effort. All these elements weave together to create a relationship in which both partners feel safe yet driven to keep improving. She doesn't just fear losing you, she deeply values everything you bring to her life. That sense of value forms the bedrock of a lasting, meaningful relationship where respect stands at the center of every moment you share.